What's up, guys? Josh Davis here. It is the Philly special, and again, it's the part 2, I guess, if you were catching us earlier with Joe Castro. Had to hop back on because you guys know Friday nights are usually the hangout, and, haven't been able to do it as much with the regular shows, with the baby and everything, so adjusting to the schedule on that. But wanted to hop back on here, hang out, get some questions, answer those, little Q&A, but also I'm sure, you saw the title, the thumbnail, everything else. But if you haven't been made aware yet, wanted to hop on with the most recent change, I suppose, to the coaching staff and everything. Shout out to everybody in the comments. We will get to those too. But first off, just to start out, the tweet here from Bruce Feldman is that source Eagles defensive back coach DK McDonald is expected to go to Kansas to become the Jayhawks' new co-defensive coordinator and DB's coach. So before Philly, obviously, he was there. Iowa State, passing game coordinator, work with the DBs. Interesting move, I'll say. I mean, it's not too surprising. I guess I'm in favor of it. It's not too surprising, but as far as, the actual benefits of this, I think it's a good thing because we saw the lack of productivity or whatever you want to call it from the secondary. I know the players, it's on them. Like, they got to execute, they got to make plays, but I've been saying this for a while. I said it in my most recent video, and I know there was kind of back and forth comments on it, but like, DK McDonald had 21 years of coaching experience, but he didn't have NFL experience. He had 1 year previously to this season, and he was an assistant defensive backs or assistant secondary, whatever the official title was, and then moved right into defensive back coach. And, again, it's probably not all on him, but I prefer to have the experience, and you see that the coaching staff has certainly moved that way. So there you have it. I mean, you have an official move. DK McDonald most likely going to Kansas. I would suspect this move also, I mean, we probably had the writing on the wall, but like DK McDonald not coming back was probably already a given, but most likely they told him, hey, you could start searching elsewhere. We're going to bring in somebody else. Fangio's here. He does have a close connection to Sirianni, but again, you had to make some changes, whether that was a Sirianni decision or whether it is a Jeffrey Lurie decision. Regardless, you've got to move now. So someone else will be coaching, well, I don't even want to say it, but someone else will be coaching James Bradberry if he's here. We will see. We will see if James Bradberry remains and stays. But for some of the other staples, Eli Ricks, Keeler Ringo, those guys, it's never, a bad thing, depending on if we can get the right guy. And I guess that brings up a question is who should we bring in? Who will Philly bring in? They missed out on, as I see, shout out to Watermelon with a comment, losing Karl Scott was a huge miss. I agree. I think Karl Scott was a big miss. And he was here for, taking the consideration from Seattle. But he had gotten the basically potential hire. I mean, I remember from Aaron Wilson, I talked about it in my most recent show too, for you guys that checked it out already. But Aaron Wilson had reported that Karl Scott was going to be hired by the Eagles. Like, he was their man. And then out of the blues, we got a tweet from, I think it was Mark Zenitz. Let's see if I can find that one here. I'll throw it up. But Mark Zenitz to burst everyone's bubble and say, yeah, that's actually not happening. He's remaining in Seattle. So, that's a lot of experience that he would have brought to the table, what we could have had. But Karl Scott get offered, hey, a promotion, or maybe not a real promotion, I guess, but a raise, something like that, whatever it was, to stay with Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald's a great coach, no lie. I mean, should have a good defensive mind, so going to hang out there. But, yeah, the question is, who do you bring in if you're Philly? So losing DK McDonald is a good, I think it's positive. I'll say that. Again, curious to know if you think it's a negative. I would be open to hearing the theory on that if there is any negative to losing DK McDonald, but I think it's a positive if you can bring in the right person. So now we got to see who that is. Let's get to some of the comments though while we're here. You guys joining in. Shout out to everybody again for the chat. JST Kistan, love to hang and chat. Just came over from your latest live stream. Thanks for reading my comments. Fly Eagles Fly. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was great hangout with Joe Castro. So again, if you guys didn't check that one out, it's a 2-for-1 special today. We did 2 live streams essentially, a Q&A and a hangout. But Joe Castro is doing awesome work from the Senior Bowl as well as the Combine and everything else. We'll have that. Ken Lewis, keep this coming. Love the content. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Mason McCray, what happened to our supposed no linebacker coaches? Yeah, that's a interesting take too. I don't know. I don't know if we're waiting for some reason to make the decision because I haven't heard any other interviews, which the only thing that I would think you'd wait for is, if you're not quite sure on those candidates. Again, like me being a recruiter, the main topic of recruitment that we used to say would be like, if you have a candidate that you like, you go ahead and make them an offer. Now I know there's some stipulations and maybe Joe Barry and Mike Caldwell are I don't know, weighing their options, but it seems like we should get some sort of official word eventually. Although the only official announcement is that Vic Fangio is the defensive coordinator. We didn't even get an official announcement from Kellen Moore as the OC or Clint Hurtt as the coming over to help out as well. I mean, there's, I guess they're just waiting. But I don't think that you're going to miss out on anything. I don't think that from that side, I should temper expectations because I suppose we did with Karl Scott. But we'll see. Another comment here. Robert G, what's up? How's it going? He says, whoever thinks Hurts has lost it, your delusional fact. The coaching was atrocious. Fact. Know your sports geniuses. I mean, I much rather, side side with you, Robert. You know that from watching the previous video. But I can understand, again, it's not like I'm not saying that Jalen has kind of been, a slight regression, and he has to play better for sure. But I mean, come on, it's definitely on the coaches in my mind, and that makes a huge, huge difference. So again, opening up here, talking about DK McDonald not being here as the DB coach, I think it's going to be promising because you're going to get a different coach going on. And so we'll get into potential candidates, who that might be. Won't be Karl Scott. Another comment here, though. JSC Kassan, I know it's a little late. Forgot to ask on the Exciting Prospects live stream. Or I guess exiting prospects. Fitness Warrior, what's up? I'm upset I missed the Q&A earlier. Well, hey, you're here now. So we'll kind of have a Q&A hangout update on everything else. But yeah, we'll get into it. Charles Lawrence, that's a good point. Says that would have been a tough move across the country. That's no lie. I mean, Seattle to Philadelphia, that's about as far as you might want to go. So that is a complete move. I don't blame him if it was literally just the logistics of it. But I mean, I thought it was a done deal. He would have been great having coached several guys. I mean, he's got incredible ties, not only in the NFL. He put 4 Pro Bowlers. I think it's 4 Pro Bowlers in the last couple seasons in the defensive back area. But also, I mean, coaching Patrick Surtain at Bama, Xavier Ragland. Why am I drawing a blank on a couple others? There's a couple others, obviously being at Bama as the coach on that side, but knowing how to coach players, has a special knack apparently for the teaching moment or the teaching aspect. And considering the fact that we have Akili Ringo and Eli Ricks, Sidney Brown, got your youth Reed Blankenship even, it's never a bad thing to have that. So, I think it would be. But hey, here's the comment. So who are we going to get, right? Who's going to be a replacement? Ridge King says Kasper. That's great because that is leading into the next point here. Joe Kasper is sounding like there's a strong potential for a Joe Kasper. Because again, remember, I'll throw this one up here. Cameron Wolf had initially said it, and then we've got an update from a Joe Kasper. But the Philadelphia Eagles put in a request slip to interview Dolphins safeties coach Joe Kasper for the same role. So for safeties coach, it may not be a full, I'm not sure if it's going to be like it sounds like from that, if it's going to be safeties, it's not going to be like the full DB role. So you might have to still figure out who that's going to be. But Kasper, as he says, young and rising coach, previously at Philly, was a passing game coordinator or quality control. I may have that wrong, but having been here already, having ties with Philly, so that seems like, that's leaning in that direction. And then, of course, if you look here on the next one, there was an update from Jeff Mosher who said Kasper was a Fangio hire, obviously, again, coming over from Philly. Understanding is it'll get done and he'll have the same job with the Eagles. So could be very soon, which would be great. You need to lock these guys up. The beauty is, if you want a silver lining, as much as we hate not playing this time of year, you're getting some coaches locked up. You're getting some positional areas as well as main positions, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, solid. So we're not like getting slim pickings or just the scraps, I suppose. But yeah, you got Joe Kasper as a potential coming over there. Wouldn't be bad. There's also Ronaldo Hill. That's a potential as well. It's a name that's been thrown out a couple different times. Familiar with Fangio. There you go. Familiar with Fangio. Having been in Miami, that one feels like it'd be very likely. And considering too, because Brandon Staley does not sound like he's going to get the DC job in Miami, even though there was a linkage there. And I think he interviewed and people assuming it might work out that way, but doesn't sound like he's going to get the Miami job. So if that's the case, then, it would have made probably more sense for Ronaldo Hill to stay there because of the connection previously with Brandon Staley and the Fangio scheme. But now that that's not going to happen, Ronaldo Hill would make a lot of sense. Bring him in with his experience, with this DB room. I wouldn't hate it. I think there's a lot to like with that potential hire. Because again, you got a guy we were talking about DK McDonald not being here, heading off to Kansas. Again, if you're just joining, DK McDonald, no longer the DB coach or will no longer be the DB coach in Philly, headed to Kansas, going back to the college ranks, but only had 2 years of NFL coaching experience, whereas Ronaldo Hill, having played in the NFL and coached a number of seasons, pass game coordinator with the Dolphins, also over with the Chargers, a lot of experience there. So it makes sense from a number of reasons. Again, and you have the experience. So that's probably who I would have as my favorite if you're talking about just straight up like DB coach to come in. And then, again, Joe Kasper, like we were talking about, you have him there for the safety spot. But that's... I don't know. That's where I'm at, but I think it makes a huge difference. Coaches make a huge difference. I mean, that's a given. That goes without saying. But positional coaches, I feel like somebody, sometimes it's they don't get as much. Either they don't get as much credit, or they also don't get as much criticism maybe for the lack of how guys are playing. And so I think this is a good thing. But low key. What's up, man? Says, is our DB coach actually leaving or got fired? Sorry, just joining. Sorry, I'm getting to these comments late, so you probably got it answered by now. I think that was like 6 minutes ago. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna catch up on these comments. Keep them coming. We will get to that. But yeah, DK McDonald not gonna be here. As Charles Lawrence said, made that move military not real fun. Yeah, that would not be a fun move all the way across. JJ, what's up? Josh Davis, you are Philadelphia's new head coach. Nope. You guys want a 0-17 season. That's a surefire way to do that. Absolutely not. I get it. Look, we're all arm short chair quarterbacks, criticized to death. Like, I very, very few. Maybe there's an ex-coach out there or something like that watching, but like very few of us would know what we're doing in this. So again, I understand that maybe the criticism is like, cool, but I couldn't do it. I'm just saying from optics, from what I've read, and just a general understanding of having played sports before too. Like coaches still matter, So I can't do it. I'm not telling you like, hey, here's what we should go and do, but having that experience, there's no substitute for it. I'm always of the idea if you can have a guy who's can not only coach it, but also play in the position, that helps out a lot. Because I want you to be able to relate to me. Like, okay, cool, you've done this, you've been in this moment, you've seen a lot of things firsthand and also from the sidelines. So I don't know. Again, Ronaldo Hill, that's who I would like for DB coach. Maybe you help out some of the other younger guys too. Because it sounds like Howie's going to go after a corner. I mean, if you're going to you guys got to stop with this. I appreciate the support, but you guys got to stop. Josh, no, that's not, you think Nick is bad? Absolutely not. Stop. But hey, it seems like Howie's going to maybe potentially go for a corner. Again, had Joe Castro on earlier on the previous live stream. So if you want to go check that out, exciting prospects was the thumbnail. But Joe was covering just the topics of interviews that the Eagles have had, guys that we might be considering. And if you look, there's lots of corners, not only interest, but having interviews with the Eagles, having multiple interviews. I know it's super early, so, who knows? But I feel like this would be the year where Howie kind of changes his philosophy, a minor change. I'm not saying a drastic change, but a minor change of his philosophy on corners. And we probably want, I would love to do first round. I know I've said that, but Quinton Mitchell would be awesome. That's my favorite as far as corners. But yeah, as far as or on the topic of, are we gonna actually get that for the draft? I don't know. I don't know if I could see Howie going that route. But we would have a benefit even if you can get second or third round, or what we have like 4 5th round picks. So at some point he's going to draft one. I'm going to be shocked if we're sitting here after the draft and we say, oh wow, you didn't draft a single corner, single secondary play. There's lots of talent there, so that it would just be the question of do you go early or do you save that and get the capital later, or spend the capital later on the secondary? You got to get something on that side. But again, I think it comes down to drastically who you have in this defensive backs coach. Because we saw some development for sure. And even with the guys that you have, I mean, let's not forget, like, there's promise in Keely Ringo. There's promise in Eli Ricks. Some would say Josh Jobe. I don't know if there's still something there. That would have been that was kind of the unfortunate part with Karl Scott, though, because people were making the whole argument of you want to resurrect or you want to save Josh Jobe, bring in Karl Scott because he had coached him at Alabama. Maybe familiarity, knows his strengths and weaknesses better than a lot of people. But still, again, if you go back to Eli Ricks, Keely Ringo, they could play up to their potential. There's still lots to be there. So not that you're saying, oh, let's go draft a corner and then those guys are going to be backups the entire time. But we'll see. Mark G with a comment here. What's up, Mark? Says, had the Eagles not lost Steichen last season, do you think Jalen and the offense would have regressed, considering all the so-called experts say the league has figured out their offense? That's a good question. I don't think so. I really don't. If you kept Steichen, I mean, look what he did this year with Anthony Richardson and Minshew. With less talent, less skill player talent. I mean, there's some. Not going to say the Colts have none, but I mean, come on. They've got less than Philly. And what he was able to do with that offense, Steichen is a brilliant mind. So even if he was hamstrung by Sirianni a bit, because you saw the motion rate go skyrocket compared to what he was whenever he was in Philly. So he clearly wanted to do motion. It was Sirianni being like, that doesn't work in my offense, basically. But still, even under the constraints of, hey, here's what we can run or call, I think Steichen would have been more of the, not a yes man, essentially, to Sirianni, or having the wealth of knowledge to draw from, to be like, no, we're going to do this, or we're going to change this up, being that voice in Jalen's ear to helping him what to maybe see or think about as he's getting the play call or as he's thinking about a certain situation. So, no, it in my mind, you would not have seen that regression. I think there's something to be said for consistency, and this is not even like in football or sports. It's just everywhere. But like, I mean, if I think about having a boss, if there's turnover, and I've had some where it's like there's 1 year in my career, or a couple of years in my career, where it was like back to back, a new boss basically every single year. And that gets a little bit hard. I mean, come on, and I'm sure everybody's experienced something to that effect or, similar, but you're trying to kind of understand their likes, their dislikes, how they operate, different operating rhythm, even communication style, all this other stuff. And some bosses were really close, had a good relationship, and then others were not. But it's still learning curve. There's still the relationship piece that you have to figure out. And so as much as, Jalen and Brian Johnson are close and have known each other for a long time, it's a different dynamic. And I think that's why a lot of times, I've said this on a number of shows, but I steer clear of the quarterbacks in fantasy whenever I'm drafting quarterbacks if I know they have a new offensive coordinator coming in. That may be crazy, but I just feel like that first year, you got to learn. You got to figure each other out. Now, maybe late in the season, you start humming because you've had enough time. But for me, I'm like, nah, get your first year out of the way, and then I'll come back to you. I might draft you the second year once you have the offense under wraps. But I think that's the hard part for Jalen. He's had so much turnover. I mean, just go back. I'm talking his whole career, like even college. But you get him someone like Kellen Moore, hopefully. It will be better, but how long is Kellen Moore going to stay? Because if it's better and he does a really good job, is he going to get poached for a head coaching position? I don't know. That's a whole nother story that we can get into if you guys want. But let's get to some of these other comments here. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out on a Friday night. Hopefully it's been a good Friday so far. You got some good weekend plans. DKT, what's up? Said, would you rather have a veteran wide receiver or a rookie for wide receiver 3? That's a good question. Man, I don't know. I mean, because we kind of already had the experience with Olamide Zaccheaus, and he did fine, but I don't know. It's just like there's a unwillingness to use the wide receiver 3, and maybe that changes with a Kellen Moore offense. So I'm gonna hope that is the case. But it depends on, I guess, who we're talking about. I know I mentioned Tyler Boyd was linked to Philly, and that would be awesome because he's a good receiver. Everybody knows that. He could be dynamic as a number 3 and help Jalen, take a load off of Jalen there. It probably depends. If I had to pick, if you're going to force me to pick right now, I would probably say a veteran, just because I don't want any extra learning curve for a wide receiver 3 coming into this offense, because I do think it's a short-term rental, essentially, is how I would view the wide receiver 3, because you got Smitty, you got AJ, you got Dallas Goedert, whoever your running back's going to be. I don't know. Anyone's better than Quez. You guys already knew that I was going to say that, but anyone's better than Quez. Donovan, what's up? Says, what's up, Josh? Got to say, no matter how you slice it, we are poised to be a better coach team than last year. For sure. We are, without a doubt. Says, pumped for to see what we do in the draft. Get Lane's replacement. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I am curious to see where they go. Will they get Lane's replacement, or I guess at what round, Like Tyler Guyton, talked about him a number of times. Is he a potential? It feels like, that's just the easy possibility, right? Or the easy name to throw out there because he's at OU and he talks about Lane being his mentor and a big brother to him and communicating all the time and things like that. But yeah, I do think that you'll get a offensive lineman. I don't know if I'm buying the whole report from Philly Voice talking about like the Eagles are a near lock to draft a tackle, or I think it was a tackle. It might have just been offensive lineman. I think it was a tackle for their first pick in the draft. That feels a little far-fetched considering what we saw from the team. Like, I think you want to bolster the defense before you do an offensive backup. I get that linemen are important. You need them health-wise if someone went down and all that, but I would be a little bit more than a little upset if we went that route. JJ, Josh in his live chat goes for a Super Bowl run. You never know. You never know. Hey, Charles here. Yeah, he says, at least you would run the ball. Then I'll be the OC. I could call run plays, sure. I don't know how effective they would be, but from a percentage-wise, I guess, yeah, if you want to take a win, we could do that. Fatty, what's good, Josh? I'm sorry. I'm just calling, that's your name, so I'm not calling you that. It's just your username there. But what's up? Has been an Eagles fan since 1990. Go Birds. Heck yeah. It's 2 years longer than I was born. I was born in 92, so shout out to you. John here says, Roby is cooked, Bradberry cooked, Slay semi-cooked, Maddox can't stay healthy, need 4 corners. Okay, I mean, you do need corners. That's for sure. And he's gonna draft. He's gonna get some free agents. Isaiah Rodgers is there. Let's not forget that. So you do have that. You got Isaiah Rodgers. You got Eli Ricks. You got Keeler Ringo. It feels like they'll probably, think maybe Job is something, even if it's a career backup. I feel like they might try to see what they can continue to get out of Josh Job. But yeah, you got to draft, I would think, one, maybe two. I feel like you might draft one, then you go with like a free agent option or UDFA. I know Jalen Johnson's the easy. We keep saying that. That would be great, but I don't know. It feels like it's a little less likely. So you got to pay up. That dude is going to get so much money. I can't envision it. I know L'Jarius Sneed. There's another name. He's going to get a ton. He would be so fun, but at the same time incredibly frustrating because Sneed leads the NFL in pass interference. So it's one of those that like you take the good with the bad. Incredibly physical corner, going to be in your face all day. But there's times, man, like if you watch Chiefs games, we know even from playing them, but you watch Chiefs games and can be dominant for sure. So I will take the good with the bad, but I'm just saying, like, there's times you get the pass interference call quite a bit, and that gets a little irritating. But he is good, no lie. I'm not saying he's not. Hey, got a comment here. Looks like we are officially. Let's see. Let me see if I can get the official tweet up. But Christian Brown, we are officially signing Kasper. Did that change? Because it was a speculation of looks like it was most likely going to happen. But let's see. I'm going to find the tweet here and then I'll throw it up. Again, DK McDonald is out, but let's see. Where is that tweet? Let's see. Cameron Wolf. There we go. It is official. Appreciate the heads up there, too. Let's get this one thrown up here so you guys can see it. But yeah. Well, that's one of them that we were just talking about. So, hey, great. You got some breaking news here. Hit the like button if you like it. But yeah, Joe Kasper. Felt like it was a given. And shout out Christian for the heads up there. I was sleeping on the job. I was refreshing Twitter. It's funny. I didn't actually see that one come up. But it's been, as of 20 minutes ago now? So, there you go. Joe Kasper is accepted the Eagles' offer to become the safeties coach in Philly. So you got Reed Blankenship, you got Sidney Brown, going to be helped out from that standpoint. Kevin Byard, who knows? I feel like he might not be coming back. You would certainly have to restructure something on the contract or rework something. There's no way you're not going to take the $14 million for the cap hit and everything else. So, but there you go. They've officially hired Joe Kasper. How we feeling? It's not too bad. Darn, Josh, you're young. Yeah, 31. Feel all right. Sometimes feels older than that, but Devontae, what's up? Says my guy Josh, love the channel, bro. You think Kellen Moore will get Dallas more involved in the offense the way Chiefs use Travis Kelce? I hope so. I really hope so. That's one of the issues. There's many issues with the offense, but Dallas was underutilized. There'd be so many times there'd be like games where he'd do great and be like, hey, good. They didn't forget about him. They actually used him for once. And then there's other times where it's like, what are we doing? It made no sense. So yes, the way that Moore schemes things, helping guys get open, he's going to look at this offense, no doubt. He's going to say, okay, Dallas Goedert, there's so many things that we can do. I think he'll be a big benefit for sure. And I think it'll be also you help Jalen to see the field better. He's played. Not that Brian Johnson hasn't played the game either, but again, he's played, he's coached, he's been offensive coordinator for several years. Led one of the top offenses. Yeah. It should be better. There you go. Yeah. Shout out Christian Brown. Breaking the news on the channel. Let's go. And also Christian says, yo, I love the hiring. I did too. I think that's better. Scott Johnson, who is DK McDonald? Probably, I'm assuming that is, well, you followed it up with defensive back coach. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, was the defensive backs coach in Philly, but he's out. So he is out, and Joe Kasper is in as the safeties coach. That doesn't mean that there's defensive backs coach. Or curious who that's going to end up being. I think it'll make like I say, I think it's going to make a huge difference, but there's certainly an emphasis if the theme is for these hiring so far, it's experience, and that's what I love, because we had a lack of experience, and you had guys that didn't exactly know what they were doing, where they were going, how many times too. I mean, watch Shane Half and his breakdown, watching Fran Duffy, various all 22s. There's so many of them too. So again, I can't give enough shout outs to all the ones that I watch, but like, see the breakdowns of what they did well and what they didn't, and just the disconnect between the D-line, between the linebackers, between the secondary was ridiculous. We all know that. We lived it every single game. But yeah, the fact that you didn't have that on the field, I think it was a proof point of not only the defensive coordinator, for sure, like Patricia was not good. Sean Desai was maybe better than Patricia, but still not good. And so there's part of it, I'm sure, just coaching it up, helping players to learn the system, and that starts with the defensive coordinator, but there's a ton on the positional coaches. And the fact that these guys have been with Fangio, they've done it, they're familiar, they can teach it, it makes a ton of sense. So I like it. I'm definitely in favor. Kasper, familiar with Philly, comes back. I think it's good. Now, the question is, depending on who we hire, is Bradberry, I may start a war here, but is Bradberry salvageable? Is there anything they could do to even remotely change your mind to think like, oh, maybe, you could get something out of him? Probably not. That's I shouldn't even ask that. Estefan, what's up? What do you think about James Williams for safety from Miami in the third round? That's a good question. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I haven't looked enough to know, quite honestly. I've briefly covered some of the Senior Bowl guys, kind of getting into some first round talent, but with the whole coaching rumors and speculation and everything else, I've kind of been tied up for the most part on that. But I don't know. I'm going to have to dig into it more. We're going to have tons of draft coverage. Again, you guys know this, but draft coverage, mock drafts, having more, probably Joe Castro, who came on, supporting him, but many others too. So we'll look forward to that. Going to have a draft, which should be awesome. We're going to give away tons of stuff for the draft too, but I don't know. I haven't looked closely enough at some of the mid-tier or mid-round and later, but not opposed to looking at a safety. I will say that. It's definitely an area where we're going to need some guys. Also, Linebackers, like Robert says, we need 3. I don't know if we need 3 new linebackers. They love Nakobe Dean, so he's sticking. But I guess if you want the depth there too. I know Christian Ellis was never going to, he didn't seem like he was ever going to transition to be like a on the field, certainly not a 3-down linebacker or anything like that. But his presence in special teams was incredible. And the fact that whenever we let go of him and waived him, what was it, 7 teams or 9 teams, something like that, claimed him. I think there's the writing on the wall of like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. DKT says, I like Rodgers in the slot with Maddox probably being let go. I think Slay will be back more than likely. Why not give Keely Ringo a shot at the other outside corner? Yeah, Slay will be back. Slay will be back. Contract-wise, you're not doing anything. You're not going to do anything with him there. At least I can't imagine that you would. Even with him, regressing and things like that, you're gonna bring him back. But that is a good point you bring up. I'm curious to know if Rodgers, how well he can play the slot. Like I mentioned that in my past video because I think it would be great if he could, transition into that, even if it's not all the time, but playing in the slot, I don't know, 50% of the time, whatever. But I'm for Keely Ringo getting a shot because he showed moments. He had moments for sure where it was without question Keely Ringo should be on the field before James Bradberry. Maybe that's not saying much, but still he should be on the field and covering, the second best receiver. But Rodgers has played mostly on the outside. But I think he could be versatile too, or you could try to get him into that spot, and then you're not as terrible of a situation. But you could tell like Isaiah Rodgers is getting ready, man. He is pumped. If you see his follow his social media, I think it's Instagram, and other people were like retweeting it too. But whenever some people posted on Twitter, but he is so ready to play for the Eagles, wearing that like white helmet that he's got on and like all the Eagles gear, working out with it. This dude can't wait to get on the field. I'm curious to see if there's going to be rust, but he is one of those guys that could be, I don't know if like underestimated is the right word, but just a surprise, kind of like people forgetting like, oh yeah, we got Isaiah Rodgers. We kind of forgot about that. And then all of a sudden like, wow, this was a really, really good signing. Esteban, what's up? I appreciate that. 5-bomb says, thanks for answering my question. Keep up the great work. We need more physicality in the secondary. Totally agree. Appreciate the support. Yeah, definitely need more physicality. We need a lot of things. We need somebody that is, Sidney Brown is that guy, can be that guy, however we want to phrase it. Unfortunately, he is, how long is he going to be out? October, November, all of the advances in modern medicine, modern science here. Like I didn't think that people could come back from Achilles injuries as quickly, but the fact that there was a consideration, that Aaron Rodgers, like, oh my gosh, he's going to be back. Who'd ever think it? He wasn't, I know, but I'm just saying like they're trying to rush that. And even Brock Purdy's elbow injury of saying like he might miss time and he's ready to go for the start of the season. So just other stuff like that. I know that Sydney's going to be taking it as much as he can and trying to recover as fast as he can. But he's the dude that can bring physicality for sure. So there's one, but we need him out there. Other than that, I'm with you, man. We've had so many. I know we don't need reminders, but how many clips we go back and watch of like missed tackles, not kind of really lowering the boom and saying, all right, I'm going to come up and make a stop. Instead, you got the one that's on loop for me is just James Bradberry and the missed tackle from the Bucs game that goes for 50 yards. It's just time and time again. So yes, we want someone who's physical, get in your face, and or a playmaker. If you can have someone who's both, that's great. I don't know if Kenyon Mitchell is that, but the corner out of Toledo, like I'm really high on him, and he doesn't play a lot of press coverage, so it's like that could be a negative in terms of physicality, I suppose, but unfortunately, as much as we might want to see it, we're probably not going to because of it being Fangio's scheme. So you're going to get that softer, the softer coverage. You're not going to have as much of the press, but in a way that would probably work for a guy like Kenyon Mitchell. I don't know. By the way, I've gone back and forth on this. I saw a television broadcast that had Quinyon Mitchell, and I've heard Kenyon Mitchell. I'm sure that even by asking that, I'm going to get multiple like sides of what's right. But if you guys know, let me know, because I've said both, and now I'm just second guessing it every single time that I'm saying it. So, help a dude out. Donovan, Josh, you and Thomas should come to Cincinnati this year for the game. Hurts versus Burrow. We can eat at my restaurant and have a great time. Heck yeah, that'd be great. You have a restaurant? What's the cuisine? What's the genre of food? I mean, either way, I'm down for that. That sounds like a blast. I've never been to Cincinnati. Ridge King, Bradberry equals burnt toast. Absolutely. Yep, we are all in that boat. Cat Benson, Bradberry jam on burnt toast. Okay, yep, just continue that analogy. Brad Wright, I'd rather start your boy Thomas Mott at corner than Bradberry. Okay, look, like I love Thomas, but even he would admit to you, as bad as Bradberry is, that is a worse option, just like saying me over Nick Sirianni or anything else. So we appreciate the love and support, but there's a limit with how bad that Bradberry is. Come on. David Ertz, what's up, Josh? What's up, Dave? How's it going? Appreciate you joining Friday Night Hangout. And we got a new defensive coach, Joe Kasper. DK McDonald is gone, and as the DB coach, DK McDonald's gone, so Joe Kasper not filling in for those just joining, but Joe Kasper as the safeties coach, as said by Cameron Wolfe. So I'll throw this up here again just in case no one's seen it yet, but Cameron Wolfe had reported that the Eagles were going to interview him, and then following up with that he's accepted an Eagles offer. Will become the safety coach in Philly, reuniting with Fangio. Obviously makes a whole lot of sense, just the relationship piece and everything else. Let me get to this other super chat here too. Let's see. This is from, here we go. A Squeaky. I think I said that correctly. Appreciate it. The Tim Bomb. Let's go. I side with starting a young secondary and letting them learn and gain a ton of experience through live game reps. The Chiefs took this approach, and it has paid out greatly for them. What do you think? Yeah, for sure. McDuffie, Snead, like the thing last year, remember going into the Super Bowl or even before that, like I feel like I have, you guys might not like this, and I'm not necessarily saying that I'm cheering for the Chiefs, but like follow the Chiefs quite a bit. You guys may, I would assume, already see the channel, follow the channel, whatever. But how about those Chiefs? Cole DeRuse, shout out to him. Like he's one of the best for sure. So YouTuber of the Chiefs, if you don't know, if you haven't followed, go check out his channel. But he's got some really, really good stuff, and covering them, seeing their team. Several of my family members on my wife's side are Chiefs fans. So there's not the Packers ones, but the other ones. So again, I know that for those that are going to say, isn't she from Wisconsin? Yes, a lot of them are Packers. There's some that are Chiefs. But I mean, yeah, like the way that they took that approach. Anytime you can get it to work for you, for sure, without a doubt, that is unquestionable route of you pay someone cheaper, you have them on a rookie deal, you get them to perform. I mean, that's the goal in the league for every team. But it's funny because it feels like there's some teams that either have the secret sauce and they can get that to work, and the draft is somewhat of a crapshoot. I think everybody would admit that. So some of it's luck, but then other parts to it is you have the right coaching, you have them in the right scheme fit, you have them in the right coaching, and you really put them up there for success. And no, that's a great point. Chiefs are. I didn't think that the Chiefs would be in the Super Bowl, quite honestly. I mean, I know that we've had our struggles, but the Chiefs, it literally looked like to me that they were mirror images of each other. Like the Chiefs were the Eagles of the AFC, and the Eagles were the Chiefs of the NFC. Like there were issues, there were concerns, there were questions, there were Super Bowl hangover, whatever you want to name it. I thought it was going to be a similar route of, hey, maybe the Chiefs win the first round game, then that's going to be it. But man, the defense, as great as Mahomes is, like I got to say, without that defense, there's no question they're not in the Super Bowl. That defense is getting it done, and that youth is getting it done. So It opens up a ton of extra, cap space too. Because like you're talking about, you get the youth, you get them playing at that level. You've got them longevity wise, but you also got that money to free up and spend somewhere else. So if you can do that all day long, without a doubt, that's the route that I'm gonna take. That's just the hard part of the question is, if everybody could do it, like Sirianni said with the tush push, I guess, but to steal a quote from him, if everyone could do it, they would do it. It's just, sadly, it doesn't always come down to that. But yeah, hey, you know what? If he drafts a couple corners, you make that happen. I don't know. Be interesting to see where Howie goes with this. If his main focus is going to be going to like corner and shoring up some secondary or defensive spots, or is he going to stick with kind of the same old trenches, trench warfare with the O-line, D-line? But yeah, I'm totally with you. Appreciate the 10 bomb. Totally with you on the thinking of the secondary, getting the youth. Here we go. John says, sign Antoine Winfield Jr., Buccaneers free agent, 25 years old. That would be fun. That would be a name I would like. Again, it keeps coming back to the question of, do you spend that money? Go after a free agent, or do you try to go with the rookie route? C. Smith, what's up? Says, hey, Josh, awesome show. What about Al Harris for DB coach? Just saying, LOL. Bro, I don't hate that, but could you imagine? The Cowboys have already been purged. And it's just funny because this is going to get us off on a different topic here too, but I know that everybody's probably seen it and heard it by now, and hopefully you're letting your Dallas friends or frenemies, whatever you call them, hear about it. But the NFC East musical chairs that's going on, I know in a roundabout way, it's not all completely there, but like Dan Quinn, Commanders head coach, he takes over Joe Witt. He's bringing him over to the Commanders too. So the Cowboys lose 2 guys on that situation, but they're interviewing Ron Washington for their defensive coordinator. Like, please, by all means, Dallas, hire Ron Washington as your defensive coordinator. Please just do that. It's already the gift that keeps on giving, but my gosh. And then, yeah, you want to take Al Harris for the DB coach? I think Al Harris is good. I really do. So you take what, three positions or 3, coaching spots from them on that side. Yeah, John says Dallas ain't letting go of Al Harris. Yeah, I don't know what they'd have to totally lose their mind and be like, oh yeah, hey, you know what? We don't want him. He's not that great. You can take him. Joke sauce, do you think Bradberry will be traded or cut? Because no way Howie's going to keep him around. I keep going. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on the fact that I think he's going to get cut. There's no way in my mind that you could trade him for anything. Maybe a team hopes to get something out. I don't know. Maybe Baltimore. You think you could interest Denard Wilson? Maybe, because Denard Wilson's go like, oh hey, I can get this guy an All-Pro. I can make him an All-Pro. You think you might do that? Or I'm sorry, not Baltimore. Tennessee. But do you think he might say, yeah, I can resurrect that career. I coached him. I know what it takes to somehow magically make this dude an All-Pro. Maybe. Actually, now that I say that and you've brought up this point, it does make me consider that it's possible. I was going to say it's impossible to trade Bradberry, but if there's one team that Howie can fleece and can fleece consecutively, it's Tennessee. So Denard Wilson being in Tennessee, Rand Carthen's phone might be getting hit up like, hey, bro, like, I got this dude. And he's very underrated prospect, very underrated corner. He's not a rookie, but he's got some game left in him. His name's James Bradberry. You might not have heard of him, but there's something to be said. I don't know, bro. I think he's going to get cut. I don't think anybody takes him. Oh, heck yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I'm getting late to these comments. I'm catching up, but I got delayed and off on a tangent. But the The restaurant proprietor for Outback Steakhouse. Any steak you want, let's go. Heck yeah, I'm down. We gotta remember this. But that you've sparked my interest here. Never been to Cincinnati. You're offering free steak and get to hang out. I think it's a win-win-win. So yes, need to try to make that happen. Hey, Mark, I appreciate that. So let's hit the like button for Josh. It helps. It's appreciated, but whatever you guys want to do. Ernest, been to Cincinnati. Great place to eat, especially around the stadium. The more this goes on, the more I'm getting interested in this. So I appreciate you guys. I just got to sell it to the wife, even though it's, a long ways off, so we can just plan this, but that would be fun. Joke Sauce, when does free agency and trade start? That is March 15th, I believe. Let's see. Make sure I'm telling you correctly. It seems like it's around then. I know that. 13th. Someone may have already answered it because I'm late in the chat, but March 13th is free agency. And if you think we had a crazy wild ride during this week and a half of figuring out what the coaching situation is going to be, just wait. I mean, you guys know free agency, but it is going to be nuts with the shows and live shows and breaking news and everything else. I'm already preparing. It's probably not going to get much sleep. So we will have it all as soon as we get breaking news, but I can only imagine we'll be like, oh, Philly's linked to this. And oh, wait, what about this one? It's going to be all over the place. Followed up there. Tennessee going to trade us their first round picks and Derrick Henry for bone. If they just trade us anything for him, that's already a win. But if they're trading us a first round pick and Derrick Henry, come on, man. Yeah, they've given us a lot of things there, and Howie's gotten him a couple times, but I mean, I understand, Shaq. It's not impossible, but hopefully the right coaching might help Bradberry. Who knows? There's a small chance, I guess, but I'm not willing to hold out hope for that. Mark with a question here. Josh, any thoughts on improving the run game? Do you re-sign Swift? It's a good question. The run game, to me, the run game is not... Let me make sure to phrase this, I guess, correctly, or how I'm thinking here. To me, the run game is not a huge issue, because I think it was a lack of play calling and creativity. So, I honestly, I don't even know that you need to necessarily improve the run game, because I think it's inherently improved by the offensive coordinator and the fact that you're going to get plays under center, you're going to get play action, you're going to run outside zone. It's not going to be all inside zone, single read. You get some RPO involved. I think it'll naturally be better. The question of, do you re-sign Swift? I would love to. By the way, I just realized I have these on and I don't even have an interviewer, so I'm going to take these off. That's weird. I had them on earlier. It makes sense if you have somebody else on the other line. I can't hear you guys, so anyway, sorry. Swift, though, I would love to keep him. I think he's gonna go somewhere else. If I had to bet, I'm 99% sure he's gonna go to a different team, because Howie's not gonna pay top money, and there's gonna be one team like the Panthers, not saying it's gonna be the Panthers, but like the Panthers who paid for Miles Sanders, that's gonna be like, yeah, we'll pay you a little bit more than what other teams are gonna go at, and he's gonna just take it. And I can't blame him. But Swift said, hey, it's looking out for me, looking out for my family, whatever's best for that situation. I know he likes being in Philly. He did mention that. It's great to be, back in Philly. That was exciting, kind of reunion on that side, but he's got to get that bag. I mean, and I don't blame him at all. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a running back, if I was a running back, I already know that I'm getting underpaid. So as much as I might love a team or a city or whatever, if I'm telling myself, look, my shelf life is 3 to 5 years normally, so I'm already close to beating those odds, like take the contract that you can get and move on. I would love for him to stay, and I'd love for him to get offered what's fair. But I don't see Howie doing that. There's no sense, or I guess history on that side. I feel like, I know it might be a difference with a guy like Swift who can be a game changer, but to me, I feel like it's Howie just saying, all right, let's see who we can get in the draft. If I had to guess, it's going to be Kenny Gainwell's obviously staying here. You draft a running back, maybe, I don't know, a 5th round with one of the comp picks, and then sign a free agent, kind of a flyer on a random free agent. Hopefully it's a better contributor than Rashad Penny, but again, I think that it's whoever you're taking there is kind of your, I don't know, your I guess your 2nd or 3rd option. And then hopefully you get a rookie who's got some strong potential, maybe overlooked a little bit. It'll be interesting. I don't know that. I hope that I'm in love with whoever the running back option is, and it can't just be Kenny Gainwell. So as I'm saying that, and a 5th round and a free agent and all that, like, I don't know that I do love that part, but I will just say that, again, the offense being run by Kellen Moore and the different creativity should help. So Swift would significantly be a part of that. But I don't know. We got to get maybe more of that physical bruiser running back to combine with Kenny Gainwell. At least that's my thought. Eastside Monster, what's up? Appreciate you joining here. Says, who was hired? Let me throw this up here just to catch everyone up. Again, we'll probably have some repeats here for those that are catching the live stream a little bit later. But Joe Kasper, as Cameron Wolf had tweeted, was officially hired as the safeties coach in Philly, reuniting with Vic Fangio, targeted him as the safeties coach. They had interviewed him yesterday, or I guess requesting to, so they got it done very quickly. Interviewed today, I suppose, and then make the decision of accepting the offer. So he is in as the safeties coach, and then we've got DK McDonald, who is out. DK McDonald, the DB coach, who is headed off to, and again, the source from Bruce Feldman, but I'll put this one up here too. But yeah, the source headed off to Kansas, go back to the college ranks. So question of who the DB coach is, assuming, Joe Kasper here. We've already talked about it a number of times, but I feel like Ronaldo Hill could be an option there. Karl Scott is back to Seattle, so that's not an option, but we'll see. There you go. There's the update, though. That's who's been hired. Joke Sauce, do you think we let Swift go and get someone like Henry? Because I think you or Thomas was talking about Derrick Henry for Eagles running back. Yeah, we've both kind of talked about it a little bit. I think Thomas did more so recently, but it would be cool. I mean, you have the power back there situation with Derrick Henry. I don't know. I can't. If you're not going to pay up for Swift, even though, I mean, again, Derrick Henry, it's King Henry. He's a beast. He's a power back. Like, there's so many reasons to like it, but I just can't envision Howie going and saying, I'm going to pay a lot of that money. Now, he was linked to Henry, so there is an argument there. Maybe there's more of an interest. We know that Howie does supposedly, like Derrick Henry, but it's like, at what cost? And is there a different team out there that sees Derrick Henry? Because it appears he still has a lot left. I will say that. But when you look at the number of carries that he's had and just having to carry the load on that side, no pun intended, but what he's done or what he did for Tennessee, that is the main concern. When you start looking at that threshold of how many carries a back has had, Henry's different. So, there is that part, but I don't know. I would feel like it's less likely to occur. I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. Let's see. Hey, here we go. Ernest, what's up? Just became a member. Shout out to you. It's the Let's Run It tier. Heck yeah. Got access to the new emojis too. If you go to use the emoji deal down there, you got a couple of them. I'm going to try to add a few more, but there's like a Jalen finger gun emoji, which I like to use. And Devontae Smith, Jason Kelce, Sexy Batman, and then also the Let's Run It. But probably try to add a few more of those. Also, too, for the Hungry Dogs tearing up, we have a Zoom call once a month, every Friday. Last Friday of every month. Had one with Ryan, so shout out to Ryan. A couple others, too, that have every last Friday of the month, and just a way to interact differently on a video call. So, but appreciate the membership. Heck yeah. Jamal, appreciate you joining us. Hopefully Howie and the OC sees how Swift would be great to re-sign because he could be considered and used as another wide receiver in some scheming. That's true. It feels like they used Swift. And we kind of all know this, I feel like, based on the comments that I've seen in a number of shows, but like they could have used Swift so much better in a number of ways. So with Kellen Moore, I would be curious to see. I'd be intrigued on that side. Austin Eckler was injured, and things just were clunky, in my opinion, with the Chargers. You look at what Kellen Moore did or didn't do. But they were without playmakers a lot of the year. Like there was not a lot of games where you could say, oh, hey, they've got all of their offense together there. So I think you give Kellen Moore just about as many weapons as you possibly can and, figure out a way to fix the defense-ish. But there's still holes on that side. So that's the interesting part. And that's probably the most exciting area for me is looking at how is Howie going to figure this one out? How is he going to right the ship for one, but get the right pieces involved to plug the holes and have a long-term solution rather than like a short-term, hey, here's a few, and there's going to be a couple. We all know that. There's going to be a couple of free agents that he signs that it's a high risk, not a high risk, hopefully low risk, high reward, low risk, whatever. But anyway, that's what we're going for. But I think it'll be very, very interesting and a extremely fast-paced, lots of potentials in free agency. I don't know if you go with the route of like we were talking about. DeAndre Swift feels unlikely. Derrick Henry feels unlikely. I hate to hike a leg on every notion for like a potential running back, but that's just what it feels like. I don't know. Jamal, I appreciate it too. Hey, just became another member. Got another Let's Run It member. Heck yeah. You got two of them tonight. Shout out to you. Feel free to use the emojis as well. There you go. Let's see. Oh yeah, I saw the Eckler comments too. John here, Eckler Butterfingers now lacks explosiveness, injury prone. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in Eckler. I know it's a possibility, but the money that he does want, and for a couple of the reasons I mentioned, I that's a little harsh to me. There's some reasons to not like him, but just in general, I would say, yeah, I'm not really in favor of an Austin Eckler. Steven, what's up? This is Jason Kelce, future run game coordinator, offensive line coach. Yeah, that one feels more likely than where did I see this comment? I'm catching up here. Let's see. Where was Joke Sauce? Kelce could be a replacement for Merrill Reese. Like, and then the follow-up to this comment. JST. I love that idea. Drunk Kelce calling a game. It wouldn't be you probably have a lot of reasons that doesn't work, over the airwaves, but it would be hilarious. That I'm not gonna lie. You have like an alternate broadcast for the Eagles. Can you imagine how many people would tune in for that? That would be pretty funny. I would enjoy that. Yeah, I'm seeing some of the comments. AJ Brown, the trade, the drama, the media, WIP, Jalen Hurts. I don't know. I'm so sick and tired of like. I get we have to talk about stuff. I guess technically we don't have to, but feels like we have to. We need to talk about something. You got to fill the void. If you want to just talk about Eagles all year round, otherwise you go to different sports or fill it with something else because it is just sports at the end of the day. But if you want to talk about something Eagles, I can't understand the whole start the AJ Brown trade rumor and then you start the I guess not really as much of a rumor, but it's the Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and Ray Didinger, and him saying that Jalen is regressed and there's some concern. And I won't lie, like he has regressed. Like I believe that. I'm not saying, but I'm not saying drastically, and I'm not saying in a concerning fashion. So, if you didn't hear the comments, basically Ray Didinger is just comparing it to his mechanics that he's seen, the playmaking. His biggest case in point was Jalen's play when he got sacked for a safety against the Bucs. For sure, that was a boneheaded decision. Like that was idiotic. I don't know what he was doing. I was thinking it as I was calling it on the live stream of like, he's rolling out. He's still holding on to the ball. He's still holding on to the ball, and he's sacked for a save. Or it's like what in the world went through his mind? So I understand that, but like we were mentioning here, a coach's drastic improvement, and I'm not saying like, yes, the dude got $255 million, so he has to be held accountable. He's got to be responsible for a lot, and he needs to be better. But the reason why, if the question that, Didinger was like, why is he doing that? He wouldn't have done it last year. Well, he would have had a lot more options. He would have had hot routes. He would have had receivers that are in the right place. He would have had better blocking schemes. He would have had a defense who doesn't know exactly what's going to happen every single play because of your offensive play calling. So sure, were things maybe easier for Jalen with Steichen? Without a doubt, they were easier. It's just the difficulty was a lot harder this season, and Jalen didn't have much to stand on it. The offensive play calling wasn't helping him. So Jalen has to take a next step for sure. I'm not saying that, but the whole idea of media attacking him and saying he's not the guy. I mean, it's like, heck, we just went through this, the whole Hurtt season, and all of a sudden he becomes this incredible quarterback and we're all singing his praises, or the media, and WIP singing his praises, to then, man, he gets the contract and very quickly it's after one season we're ready to just blow it up and say that he's a bust. He's not Carson Wentz, so come on. Can we give him a little bit of time? I know it's easy to be like, hey, I want this now, and like having the patience. I feel that way at times. Again, I'm not saying that there's some struggles or some irritation or whatever, but I'm just thinking this play calling here, the offensive coordinator with Kellen Moore, it puts a ton of pressure on the QB, and that's going to be a good thing. Like it makes the quarterback read a ton, make decisions, help with checks too, but he's going to have, in my opinion, he's going to have the tools to be able to do it. Whereas this felt like, I don't know, they sent him out to I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best analogy to use, but they sent him out there with the wrong tools. You're going out there and expecting to do a whole lot with very little and no support, and receivers that are apparently ad-libbing, and probably Jalen based on rumors and reports that are ad-libbing. So to me, he's going to be fine. I'm not concerned. Going back to the idea of Kelce calling Mr. Carter. Kelce would be the booth calling the game with his shirt off. I'm telling you, this is a great idea. It's again, it's probably not appropriate, and there might be rules against this, but I would love it. There would be so many people get a kick out of it, laugh, and you'd have also the best, like most ridiculous broadcasting there. That would be, talk about entertainment. Ernest, Josh, do you think Howie would go for Tony Pollard? I don't think so. I know that Tony Pollard and Kenny Gainwell might be a fun pairing just with, the previous connection at Memphis, but it feels like to me you're getting basically the same player. You already have Kenny Gainwell, so it'd be, I don't know, you're paying twice for the same type of back. To me, if you're going to make a splash, you go after someone that Kenny Gainwell isn't or what he isn't. It's not that I wouldn't think that Pollard could be effective. Again, I just say, like, to me, whatever Pollard can do, I think Kenny Gainwell can do. So if you're going to make that, if he chooses to go that route, go with somebody who's going to be a different play style, different playmaker. I know that the case in point could be made of like, hey, DeAndre Swift is not the power back, and that's true. So that might be another reason why, if Howie is leaning towards getting some versatility there, that he says, we're not going to re-sign Swift and go with a different route, or maybe it's a Derrick Henry. I don't believe that, but could be. Jesus, I still can't believe how bad Johnson was, especially with the amount of talent on offense. Yep, that is a question that we are going to continue to ask ourselves, and we'll see. If Johnson ever gets an OC job, if he gets another job again, and if he gets an OC job, and then they do well, then you'll have your answer of, wow, it was even more of Sirianni than we thought. I think it's a lot of Sirianni, but yeah, should have been much better. Let's see here. I'm ready to see Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter make huge leaps next year under more experienced coaching. Yes, I am too. I don't know that Jalen Carter, I mean, yes, he can make a leap, but he did really good. I think, let's be honest, for what the pressure he was under, what he had to deal with, pre-draft, through the draft, even during the season with the reports that came out that are kind of ridiculous talking about the media, but all the pressure that he had, and as well as he played, I think that he lived up or maybe even surpassed expectations. So, but yeah, you want to see the next step. You don't want him to hit the rookie wall. I think that he did kind of, just with the, I don't know, fatigue, stamina, whatever. JD's got to get it in gear. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not ready to say that he's done, that we missed on him. I know Kyle Hamilton was available. Hindsight's 2020. But Clint Hurtt is going to be better. Clint Hurtt will make them better. I'm excited to see what he can do. He has the history too of getting the most out of players in situations. I did a show talking about Akeem Jordan with Chicago. Hadn't done a whole lot until he got matched up with Fangio whenever he was there in Chicago. So I'm just saying, with Clint Hurtt, I'm hopeful. I think that a guy that has been there, done that in Clint Hurtt, having played the position too, he can teach it. Watching some of the mic'd up videos and other of the kind of inside scoops that they had with Clint Hurtt, I'm positive. Again, you guys know I'm usually positive and optimistic anyway, so maybe it's too much, but I'm just saying, you have that change in there. I think that they'll definitely be better. Fitness Warrior, Pollard and Swift would be a better pair. Pollard runs downhill harder than Gainwell. Okay. I mean, I don't totally disagree or knock that, but it's just, like the logistics of how you get that done. Because Gainwell's still on a contract, so it's kind of, it's free in a sense. You're not going to really, I don't think you're going to move him or do anything to try to go a different route. I mean, I don't know what you do to get Pollard, and then if you still have Gainwell, you move on from Gainwell, but it just seems like you're paying too much to get in that situation. Rich King, a new nickname for Brian Johnson. Brian Screenplay Johnson is a joke of a coach. Zuwap, what's up? Says, how do you feel about taking Dwight McLaughlin or Kalen Bullock in rounds 3 to 4? Again, good question, and I will probably have better answers the closer that we get to the draft. I've really only looked at mainly the upper echelon prospects and some of the Senior Bowl coverage, so I really don't know too much on that side. I've briefly looked, but we're gonna have a whole lot more coverage, and I will have probably a better answer for you in a couple weeks or a month or so. Who knows exactly? But I'm gonna start getting into it. Free agency will be a bit of a distraction, so we'll try to do both as much as we can. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked mid rounds, certainly not later rounds, but we will have draft coverage all days, so that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. Lots of stuff planned. Fitness Warrior trade Gainwell for a third. Do you think someone would trade for a third? Do you think someone would give the Eagles a third for Gainwell? I think that's a bit much. That's quite a bit. Oh, followed up with you never know. Okay, well. Yeah, I think that's a little high. If anyone could, maybe Howie. Maybe Howie could get someone to pay that much, but Corrado's 316. What's up? Says, what do you think about trading down to get a couple more picks? Yeah, I like that idea. I've talked about this a little bit because 22 is interesting. And again, this is where I need to still go into it and look at more prospects and potentials for the draft and what that's going to do. But 22 is an interesting spot because to me, it feels like that's a position where you'll obviously see how the draft plays out. So you kind of wait to make a decision. But if someone is, available at say 14, 15, something like that, and you're like, all right, let's move up. Let's go get him. You have the draft capital in this year's draft to make a move, to make a trade, move on up, go get who you want. But if that doesn't happen, then if you're 22 and you say, we don't really love who's here, then yeah, I'd be in favor of, well, then let's trade back. Let's get a couple picks. You move back towards the very end of the first round possibly, or even second round. You pick up a couple seconds, some compensation there. I don't know. But yeah, to me, it's not the worst decision. Now, would it make the first night a little bit of a boring one or, not as exciting? Sure. If we were to all of a sudden be like, wow, we went the entire first night and didn't draft anybody. Yeah. But, I don't know. Long term, it just depends. It depends on who's available, who's on the board, and what you like. But I'm not opposed to it. I do think that regardless of really how it shakes out, I think you're going to get some sort of trades because we know that Howie trades a ton. I mean, heck, he averages, I think the number is like 3.5 trades, something like that, per draft. So he's not going to sit still. He's not going to just be like, well, these are the picks that we have. So it'll make it interesting and entertaining. But yeah, I'm not opposed to adding more or getting more picks, especially considering the holes that we have. And it feels like, there's certainly more than a couple positions that have a lot of depth in those. So that wouldn't be too bad of a move. Josh, do you think we'll switch to a 3-4 defensive scheme next season? Yeah, I don't know. That's I think that it'll be kind of the hybrid, with Fangio and what he likes to do, because you're gonna have linebackers, unfortunately, like Haason Reddick and probably Josh Sweat a little bit, who are dropping back. So I don't know. He's got so many varieties of packages. So you might say, well, technically we're a 3-4, but he lines people up in so many different fronts that it may not feel like a traditional 3-4 or like a consistent one. But yeah, I think you're going to see the linebackers being more active. And I say linebackers, it'll be however you want to view it, but edge players being more active. I don't like saying that, and I'm sure that not a lot of us do because we want Haason Reddick rushing the passer, but I think that the positive to come from that is that Fangio can teach it better. And so as much as we're frustrated with Haason Reddick dropping back and players not knowing what they're doing on an island when a quarterback takes off to run? Do I go get him? Do I stay back for the receivers that are behind me or running a route behind me? Like, you'll see differences. But I think it could change things for like Nolan Smith, someone like that too. He's got a lot of growth. He's got a lot of potential, but there's several areas that he needs to improve on. And Fangio's the guy to teach it, but I think that you might put him in some better spots too. You're not going to be like, okay, hey, we want you to just rush the passer all day, every day. It feels like the Eagles are trending towards, I don't know, as much as I thought initially, like, oh, hey, they're gonna have Nolan rush the passer every time he comes in, rush the passer. It may not be great, but they're gonna work on him with moves. He's gonna eventually develop those pass rushing techniques. They didn't really do that, and the fact that they have Fangio now and linebackers drop into coverage a decent amount, it feels like that might be the direction that you'd go with him. Which is, who knows? Who knows if that works? What the productivity? It'll be better than last season, but I'm just curious to see. To what extent and how often, a guy like Nolan, Hassan Reddick, what the percentages are. It was roughly, if you look at the stats, it was roughly like, I think 15-ish% for Miami players, Miami edge rushers that dropped back into coverage. So, whatever snap total they play, just multiply that by 15%, and there you got your answer for about how many times across the season that the players are going to drop back into coverage. I would think from a Fangio scheme. But we'll see. We'll see where they go to. Ishmael, what's up? Appreciate the $5 super chat. Says, we need a bigger back. I'm tired of Gainwell. Get Swift and a bigger back. All right. Hey, appreciate the $5. I'm not opposed to the bigger back. Man, I can understand if you're tired of Kenny G, but the fact that he's still on contract, that's the only part that makes me curious, or it would really, quite honestly, it would shock me. I'll say that. It would shock me if Kenny G's not on this team, not a hybrid running back one in their eyes. I'm not saying he's running back one for me, but hybrid running back one and then try to go after someone in the draft or a mid-level free agent. But I can't see it with the way the contract is. In my mind, even though I don't like it, in my mind, it is much more realistic that DeAndre Swift is not here than doing something with Gainwell. Even if it's a trade, I just don't know that teams are that interested in what you would get for Gainwell is worth it to say, hey, well, you'll give us a whatever it would be on a trade that side. So, but I would like it. Again, I would like it if Swift stays and you get a bigger back, you have some versatility. This offense, Loki, that's a good point too. Got to bring this one up. Gainwell is our best blocking back, without a doubt. No question that Gainwell is the best blocking back. So that's actually a really good point. Shout out to you, man. That's a fantastic point for a number of reasons. Because teams are going to blitz Jalen to no end. He was already getting blitzed, but my gosh, they're going to blitz him so much next year because it's going to be prove it. It's going to say, prove to us that you can figure out the blitz, and also the offensive coordinator. Let's make sure that we understand that too. It was a lot of the offensive coordinator, but still, it'll be, hey, Jalen, prove to us that you can beat the blitz, and that you have an answer for it. And a lot of us know, most of us realize this, but you have to have a good pass blocking running back to beat the blitz. Now, sometimes that's the hot route, so sure, he just takes off, but a lot of times it's, hey, he's staying to protect. It's a max protect situation, or you're at least going to keep the back in that area. He's getting whoever the first blitzer coming in. And, Gainwell had a few misses, but overall, that was the only guy back there that I would say, for the most part, was okay, you know what? You can trust it. Because Rashad Penny, absolutely not. I see some comments here. We got Rashad Penny, don't we? Questions on that. He's going to be gone. He's not coming back. Again, that's not an official report. I'm not saying it as I know that, but it's the lack of usage and what he did. He's not. You signed him for virtually nothing anyway, so. And he's terrible pass blocking. So that's true. That is a really good point. Gainwell, best pass blocking back. And even though we didn't like it, that's why he was out there a lot on 2-minute offense or obvious passing situations. So it is what it is. David Moore, what's up, man? Says get rid of Boston Scott, Kenny G, and keep Swift. Get King Henry, give both running backs a nice bonus, and pay them a 1-year deal. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I don't hate it from a production standpoint. I mean, if I had to choose who my running backs were going to be, it probably would go that route because you solve both problems on that side. But again, logically thinking about it and how he's going to go, it feels like he's going to maximize. He's going to take advantage of Gainwell and the year on his contract. You know, getting the money worth and saving it for somewhere else. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it's not as realistic on that side, but I don't hate that idea. Fitness Warrior Josh, did you see the prospects we were looking for in the back? I think Howie's trying to find a McCaffrey. Maybe so. Everyone says, and I've said it too, it's like he doesn't value the running back, but then in an odd, strange way, I feel like he values like an absolute stud of a running back. So maybe there's a chance for a King Henry. Maybe there's, hey, we could get Derrick Henry for 1 season, see what he can do. I don't know whether you buy this or not, though. Howie was very much considering taking Christian McCaffrey in the draft. So, obviously that didn't happen, but that was the talk. So maybe if he can get that no question, no doubter running back, he might pay for it. Might pick up someone there, but Morgan plays games. What's up? Hey, Josh, love your show. I don't know if there's another question coming to that, but it says who? JSC says if you want to see the full NFL script, go to Tom Grossi's channel. Yeah, he's nuts, man. I love Grossi, but what was the 30 and 30 that he did? That was insanity. I can't imagine. But yeah, some good laughs from Tom's content all the time. I watch his every once in a while too, because again, my wife is from Wisconsin, so Packers fan, Packers channel, so. Just regardless, I mean, it's great, good humor, NFL in general, but yeah, the Packers connection there, we see it fairly often. Let's go, Fitness Warrior, man. Hungry Dog tier. How about that? Heck yeah. I think I mentioned earlier, but Zoom call every last Friday of the month. So what day is that? I'll just tell you right now if I can pull up the calendar here. That is the 23rd, February 23rd. There you go. Welcome to the Hungry Dogs. It's all Hungry Dog members and up. Little Zoom call, video stream, talking birds, and whatever else you want to, I guess. But had it this last month for the first time. Was really cool. So going to start doing that every month, the last Friday. But I send out the Zoom link and everything well before, so you'll get the message on like the community page. But yeah, appreciate you joining to the Hungry Dogs. You also have access to the emojis too. So in case you want to use those, feel free. But appreciate the support. Rich King, Tom Grossi's hilarious. Yeah, he's joke sauce. Thomas, Josh, Grossi collab. I'm not sure that we're big enough or even on the radar of Grossi to even do anything. If he wanted, I'd love it. It would be fantastic if he wanted to come on. I'd also love to have Perna. If you guys follow any Brandon Perna, I'm sure you do, but he makes me laugh so much. It's he would be a great one. I feel like might never happen that way, but their stuff is really good. I think my favorite might have been his one of my favorite. There's several, but Perna's the worst. What was it? The worst. The new to the 21th degree or whatever, like worst playoff game ever, worst game ever. And it was the Cowboys Packers. That was pretty sweet. Bro, what is happening right now? Are you kidding me? I just got this Fitness Warrior. Bro, you're the GOAT. Gifted 5 Philly Special memberships? You kidding me? Let's go. Heck yeah. Look at that, man. Yeah, Cosmic Zeno got one. Joke Sauce, Edwin. I think there's a couple. I think there might be one more out there, or one or two more out there. Watermelon. I don't know if they're still out there or they just got taken out. But Taylor Talbot, Tracy Ann, Hoffy. Dude. Yeah, Edwin. Shandy Sarcasm. Let's go, man. Fly Eagles fly. Everyone, hey, come on. Give shout out to Fitness Warrior there. He just gifted those memberships, bro. Oh my gosh, you just made the Friday night of me and everybody. Heck yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie. That is the first time I've ever had anybody do that too. So that's extra special. That's sick right there. That's awesome. Man, I did not expect that is sick. Dude. I'm sorry. I did not expect that. That is so awesome, man. All right, I can't get over that. That's heck yeah. Okay, so like you said though, Perna's crazy, loved the curse wheel, but hated when it got to the curse wheel, bro. That's kind of. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's people that are superstitious or a little stitious, but like, it's one of those where it's like I don't believe in it at all, but it is ironic or really crazy how often he would do the curse wheel, and then all of a sudden you're like, huh, maybe it does work. Maybe there's something to it. And I think the Chiefs were the ones that proved it wrong. So who knows? Dude, Fitness Warrior, MVP of the stream, for sure, without a doubt. That's so awesome. Let's see, other question here. Morgan's plays game. Hey, Josh, I enjoy watching your show. Who would you rather have, Devin White or Patrick Queen in free agency? Good question there. I mean, if it's just if it's just a question without any ramifications, I suppose I would say I'm going to take Patrick Queen, but then that's just in a vacuum. That's not thinking about like contract ramifications and how much you got to pay him. So realistically, I don't think that works. I don't think it happens. But I don't know. That's Devin White's probably more realistic. I still feel like that wouldn't happen either. But hey, the linebackers coach, we still don't have an update, but Mike Caldwell, Joe Barry feels like one of those guys are going to be the guys. And if it's Mike Caldwell, that'd be the connection to Devin White. So maybe you get him and Devin White comes over. I don't know. It still feels like financially you might not do that. But Keith Miller, when did you become an Eagles fan? I became a fan when I was 8, back in 2005. Sweet. Yeah, I was, let me tell you the exact year. It was the pickle juice game. What year was that? I was going to say 2001, 2000. There you go. In 2000. Born in 92 and hey, actually, yeah. I would have been 8 also. Look at that. That's ironic. But yeah. Pickle juice game, and that sealed it. We were done. For sure, Eagles fan, destroyed the Cowboys. Great day. Yeah, Curse Wheel was 15-3. It was pretty crazy. Hey, there you go. A Squeak A just became a member. Am I saying that correctly? Is it A Squeak A? I'm probably butchering that, but welcome to Let's Run It tier. Everybody's getting on this. There are so many members, but appreciate you joining up. Heck yeah. Cosmic Zero, I have a question. As you know, the Eagles have gotten their teams for next year. If you know this, what's your opinion of the teams we will face off? And if you don't know, check the Eagles channel. Question, as you know, yeah, like I mean, I'll pull it up. I've looked at it, but you mean just like in general, schedule wise? I think I did that maybe on one of the previous streams. And I don't mind. I'll go through it again here too. But let's see. I think they've got I'll pull up the graphic too. That's the best one. That is on the Eagles channel that you're talking about. But let me put that up here while we're talking about it. Yeah. So, I mean, again, we don't know the exact schedule. We know the teams, so that's good. But I think that it's a pretty difficult schedule. I don't know. To me, it's about where. I mean, if I'm just looking at it objectively, I feel like it's about where it was this year. I mean, there's some obviously very winnable games, but there's some difficult games, no doubt. The home games, you know, the like at least we're playing at home, but I think, you know, Cleveland is going to be no joke. The defense is legit. If they get things figured out on offense, if Deshaun Watson is healthy, you know, who knows what goes on there. Potential, you know, Green Bay. To me, they're for sure legit. Jordan Love, man, he's the real deal. Made a boneheaded Brett Favre play at the very end of that game against San Fran, but that, you know, whatever. But I think that he's legit. the other games at home, I mean, I think that you can win them all, but I'm just saying those to me stick out, kind of the biggest tests at home. And then away, we know Dallas is difficult. We struggle with Dallas in Dallas. New York and the Commanders are kind of what they are. Tampa, who knows? I feel like you can get some revenge-ish. LA's difficult. I think they're legit. Obviously, Baltimore. They've lost a ton of coaches, though, so I'm curious to see what impact it has on them, because kind of like it did for us this season, we see it matters a ton. Not that we didn't know that. And then Cincinnati, which you guys have been putting it on my radar. I'm very interested in going to Cincinnati now, so who knows? Maybe that actually happens. We go to Cincinnati, have some steaks with Donovan, and have a blast. But Cincinnati in Cincinnati with Burrow back, presumably he could stay healthy. They could block for him, but that's no automatic. And New Orleans in New Orleans. Say what you will about struggles there too, and what's going to happen with coaching, but I mean, I wouldn't say that's either a automatic. So, I mean, there's 4 to 5 games away that look pretty difficult to me, and then I'm looking at home games, and there's also 2 more there. So, and I know no game's automatic either. So there's 7 to 8 games in my mind where it's like I wouldn't go in and automatically be like, oh yeah, we're for sure gonna blow out the teams, or we're gonna have a easy win or something like that. So I don't know. That's probably where I'm at with the schedule. Not an automatic. It'll be a good test. We'll be battle tested by the time we get to playoffs. Hopefully, I feel like we should be in the playoffs. But I don't know. As Herm Edwards would say, that's why you play the game, or you play to win the game. Loki, fan since '99. There you go. 1 year before. McNabb and there you go. McNabb and Reed, first year together. Fahad, greetings from the UAE. Heck yeah, what time is it there? It's always awesome seeing people from all over the place. It's ridiculous. You guys are the best, but ridiculous time zones, countries, Eagles fans all over the world is too good. Corrados, got to go. Appreciate you hanging out, but I understand. Have a good weekend, man. Let's see here. Yeah, definitely. Fitness Warriors started a trend, without a doubt. Started a trend. Let's go. Keep it running, or keep running it. Yeah, we will. Let's run it for sure. That is the best. What? Oh my gosh, I'm missing this. Are you kidding? There's more. Maxwell, gifted 5. Bro, this is insane. Maxwell is the GOAT too. This is ridiculous. Heck yeah. Loki got one. John got one. John Kempsky got one. I don't know if those are separate Johns. It looks like they're separate Johns. Dark Goth Angel, Major Facepalm. Dude, yes. Maxwell for the win. This is nuts. Friday night? Talk about a Friday night hangout. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. How many is that's ridiculous. How many is that now? It was like 15 gifted so far in this stream. That's ridiculous. My gosh. Okay, good. All right. Hey, Squeak A said you're saying it right. Okay, all right. I appreciate it. Love the show and information insight on the birds. Was also born in 92. Yeah, all right. 90s, baby. Heck yeah. Good old 90s. My wife says I still do things that tell her for sure that I was born in the 90s, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Yeah, Jay Sanchez. Yes, they come to LA again. Can't wait. Looking forward to that game. Oh, without a doubt, yes. Fly, Maxwell, fly. Another MVP. We got 2 MVPs. I think they got both of those, but Fitness Warrior and Maxwell, let's go. Philly Eric, what's up? Says, I would love to get Trotter Jr., but if not, what do you think of his teammate Barrett Carter? I'm not as familiar, I'm going to be honest. Where was he? Here, I'll pull it up, but you may be more knowledgeable on that side. I haven't, again, I've said it for a couple others, but haven't dove into the draft super in depth yet. But I know a couple of them, mainly the top prospects and then like Senior Bowl coverage, because again, shout out to Joe Castro for some really good content, but been going based off of his stuff. But I'll look into it too. I mean, let's see. Oh wait, I don't know if he's there. Is he? Are you just asking in general? Because I was searching for it here just to make sure, and it looks like, is he coming back? Barrett Carter announced his return, number 1 linebacker in 2024. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't, I was just thinking of, you're talking about this year's draft, but I don't know. I obviously don't know. I'm not very well aware, but it looks like he's coming back, and maybe you already knew that, but you're just asking in general. In that case, I haven't looked at it closely enough, so I still would need to. But I guess it appears he's going to hang around for Clemson for one more year. I don't mind the bigger linebacker. I will say that. Like, I know Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is not the bigger linebacker in the sense. He's similar-ish to a Nakobe Dean size, so it'd be cool. It'd be fun to see Trotter Jr., but I wouldn't be opposed to another linebacker too if you're going to draft one, or even free agency that pairs with Nakobe Dean, because it feels like Nakobe's going to be the guy. Even if we don't like that, but yeah. Cam, there you go, fan since 1990. Shout out to you. That's a long time. Longer than I've been alive. Fitness Warrior. Let's get the whole stream memberships. Bro, come on, man. You're crazy. Crazy. I like you, but you're crazy. Fanny Woods, been a fan since 92. Okay. 92 seems to be a familiar or good number for a lot of people while stationed in Korea. All right. Hopefully not too difficult to keep up with the birds in Korea. Time zone difference and everything else, but there you go. Cam, you guys see the center tearing it up at the Senior Bowl. Heck yeah, if you're talking about Jackson Powers Johnson, absolutely. That is a guy I wouldn't mind them taking. I wouldn't mind them going after. Oh my gosh. Maxwell, 20 memberships? Oh my, Maxwell, bro. Okay, well, the new MVP tonight, we might get the whole stream. We've got, 150 people on this stream, and you got 35 memberships total now? You're crazy. Appreciate that. Shout out to everybody else who's going to get there. My goodness. Maxwell, 20 memberships on top of the 5 already. Let's go. Everybody, fly Maxwell, fly. This dude. I mean, we just might get there. We might have every single person. Yeah, joke sauce 20. Are you kidding me? Have a blessed night, everybody. You too, man. Have an incredible weekend. That is nuts. We appreciate it, though. Heck yeah. Again, everybody that became members, you're into, you could use the emojis, the emojis that we have. There's only like 3 or 4, but hopefully have some others coming. But if you're into that sort of thing, you have it for the live stream, live chats. Gonna have several more of those. But yeah, good gosh, you got 20 more? My goodness, this is... How about a good Friday night? I'll have what you guys are drinking. I got like just, some water in this, but seems like we're having a little bit more fun. Whatever people are drinking tonight. Loki may go to the Bengals game. Took my I took my Mahomes loving son to KC this year. After we won, I tried to get in camera when SVP was talking, but he was ready to go. I stayed anyway. Dang, that would have been fun. That was a good game. That was one to be at. Unfortunately, that was about the last one. I guess there was the Buffalo game. That would have been fun in Philly. Christmas Day. At least we won. Wasn't great. That was just about the beginning of the end, so you got to see the comeback and everything. But that's fun. You say you may go to the Bengals game. I might have missed it. Are you in? Where are you at? Where are you located? Took the trip to KC, but just curious. I'm very much considering, like, the more that we talk about this, I think Cincinnati, that could be pretty fun. Got some friends up in Cincinnati too. So my bro, my twin bro, literally just went to Cincinnati, and he also kind of liked it. So, might need to make this happen. Maxwell playing Oprah right now. No joke. Literally playing Oprah. Although, bro, this is getting ridiculous. Like, this is awesome, but are you serious? There's 10 more? Fitness Warrior coming in clutch with a 10 on top of the others. How many are we at now? I'm losing track. I'm literally losing track of this. This is nuts. Like, and everybody's using the emojis, which is so cool. Like, that's what I was hoping to see, but oh my gosh. Oh, you guys, this is just too great. I'm getting a kick out of this because I was hoping that people would, like, be able to use those and everything else, but never in my wildest dreams did I expect someone's going to be gifting 25 memberships and 20 and 10 memberships and back and forth. But heck yeah, we're getting, the vast majority of the stream here has memberships now. So, yeah, John says, how much are these memberships and what do these memberships do? That's a good question. The memberships, there's different tiers. So I've just started them recently. It's been for, a couple months, but it's $3 for the Let's Run It tier. It's, I think, $5 or $6 for the Hungry Dogs tier, and then there's a breed of one, which is much higher. I don't know. I just put it up there to see, but basically, I mean, Let's Run It gets you access to the emojis. I'm gonna add a lot more there. I also have special drawings for members, so I gave away tickets this year. If anybody is new or just joining or whatever, members, I gave away. I think it was like tickets to 6 different games so far this year, or this past year. But yeah, if you remember, like, you automatically get entries into those. And then the next tier above is the Hungry Dogs, and that's same perks. And then also we do a Zoom call last Friday of every month. So just a way to hang out, talk birds, whatever else you want to talk about, discuss. But, a little FaceTime interaction stuff. So get to know people's stories on a more personal level. And then also going to be having some, hopefully, merchandise that is in the works. But there's a lot planned, but we're kind of in the infancy stages of it. But yeah, there's a variety of things I'm going to have to think about because obviously there's not games to be given away, but did lots of tickets previously. So it is a blast. But I mean, seriously, Maxwell, As John said, fly Maxwell fly. We were going to keep that going. And same thing for Fitness Warrior. This is crazy. Devontae, this year I could see 100K for the channel, bro. I appreciate that. We'll see. This has been the biggest blessing and craziness and ridiculous ride and everything else, I guess you want to call it. But yeah, the fact that it's been 11 months of having the channel and we're where we're at, I never in my wildest dreams would imagine. So you guys are the best. And I'm hoping to just keep growing the channel, have a blast on the live streams, gonna have awesome time for the draft. And then also, once we get back next season, things planned for the games in itself. But oh yeah, we're gonna do lots of stuff. Oh, by the way, should mention too, members, I give away jerseys every once in a while too for members too. We'll have like a drawing, whether it's on the Zoom call or just a drawing like on a live stream. So, and then there's shirts too. I mean, I don't know. I've lost track of things that I give, but it's usually like if I run across something on like Fanatics or the Pro Shop and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I may buy one myself and then I'll be like, oh, hey, let's give that away. I'm going to give away, there it is. I'm going to give away this too at one point. So for members, we'll see when. It might be draft night, but I've gotten asked about the light in the background quite a bit. So I think it needs to happen. We'll give that away soon. Not this actual one. Obviously, it's going to stay, but Cosmic Xeno, it's the battle for stream MVP. I guess, man. They're going at it. All right, I'm probably gonna. We'll see. Any more questions? Anything else? I may hang out here for another 10 minutes or so. But we've been going for what, 2 hours ish at this point. So I'll hang out for a little bit more. Any more last minute questions, comments? These memberships are ridiculous, but you guys are the best. And we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Let me refresh too, just to make sure I'm not missing on any breaking news, like the one night. What was it on? Was it Friday or Saturday? It was maybe Saturday last week. Whenever the Kellen Moore news broke, it was like 11 p.m. or even later, maybe than that. But Thomas and I hopped on and did the stream. I was literally about to wake him up. Right? I think I was like he was in bed, and text or call him, and be like, "Hey, let's hop on." Oh, here we go. Just in case any new people. By the way, I love that. Love the picture there. That's the Smitty emoji that with my background on that. That's a pretty nice username photo there. But I like that, the Slim Reaper photo. Fly Like Eagle though says just getting in. Who is the new safety coach? Yeah, I'll throw it up here too. People have coming in and out asking about the stream, but let me see if I can get a picture for you. Here you go. This will work. It's going to be kind of blurry, but there he is, Joe Kasper, formerly in Philly. He is going to be the safety coach and was with Miami, went to follow Vic Fangio whenever he left. Fangio got him to go down there in the safety coach role, so he was with Miami, and then now that Fangio's coming back, naturally kind of makes sense, but Joe Kasper is the one who's going to take over, and he will be there again let's see here. I'll put up the tweet. From Cameron Wolf. And there you go. It is Joe Kasper accepted the Eagles' offer. So officially, again, Cameron Wolf reported it, but yeah, like I said, from Vic Fangio, following him there. And in case you're not aware either, but the DK McDonald is no longer, or will no longer be, the DB coach for Philly. So that's the other report. But we'll see who they go with. Is it Ronaldo Hill? That to me feels like the favorite for sure. There might be some other options around, but I would be surprised if Ronaldo Hill does not go, considering the fact that it doesn't sound like Brandon Staley is going to be in Miami as the defensive coordinator. So considering that, then, you go with someone that's familiar. But again, here's the source of DK McDonald. Bruce Feldman, DB coach of Philly, is going to Kansas, back to the college ranks. He had only been there for 2 years in the NFL, and then previously, I think 17 or 18 years in the college ranks. So I think it'll be a good move. Best wishes to DK McDonald. Hope everything goes great, except when they're playing Baylor. I went to Baylor, so hopefully Kansas doesn't do well then. But other than that, they can be fine. And then, you get someone hopefully that has more NFL experience. So I think it'll be a benefit. But yes, for those just joining, question there, that's where we're at. And we'll keep you posted on any updating moves and new coaches that they get, but we'll see. Okay, there's lots of stuff that literally just happened. So what in the world? I'm catching up on this. Hold up. Why is it not refreshing? The chat went crazy and now it's like glitching on me here. What happened? Oh my gosh. Are you serious right now? 50? Bro, 50? Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say right now. What is it? What is happening? I was gonna say it's breaking the chat. Like I can't normally I can like throw things up here immediately and it's like frozen. There we go. 50 memberships, bro. Come on. That is ridiculous. Okay, officially, yeah, the stream MVP, the GOAT. My gosh, this is everybody get in on the fun. And if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button at this point, because I think we might be running out of memberships to give away. It's blowing up here. I literally can't keep up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Loki saying you got 50 more members. That's what happened. Yeah, it's like it started going crazy whenever I got out of that screen share, and then goodness, yeah, JST, Mr. Josh is going to lose his mind. I'm struggling. You guys can tell I'm struggling with like what to say. This is stupid. That's what it is. It is incredibly like, thank you for the memberships and shout out to everybody else who just got all of those, but unbelievable. Oh no, I'm not forgetting. Yeah, he said don't forget about Maxwell's twin. No, I'm not forgetting about that. Maxwell, yeah, let's see. Where's because I got to go and find this again. It's like, let's see. So you guys are breaking the stream. I'm trying to find these things, and it's as Cosmic Xeno's going to keep track for us. Fitness takes the lead. Good gosh. Yeah, the 20 from Maxwell too earlier, and then I don't even know what we're at really. Yeah, this is legit. There's gonna be so much more. There's gonna be so much more coming. Seriously, for the members again, those that are asking like, what does it do? You got access to it via the emojis and hangout and everything else. But yeah, it's a lot more coming, a lot more planned for the channel. And gonna be good. But I can't even. I don't even know what to say. You guys are just the best, and I didn't expect this to happen, especially on a Friday night. So you just started my weekend out great. And you helped pay for the baby fund. So shout out to you guys for the I guess the diaper fund these days with what we're paying for. But that's awesome. Devontae, appreciate you, Josh and Mott, for keeping us informed of the latest Eagles news. Much love to you and your family. Appreciate that. You too. You too. This is do what we can. And yep, that's what I was saying. Yep, Zapper guy, buy something nice for the baby. That something nice or just diapers, quite honestly. With two in diapers right now, that's about where the money's going. So you guys are awesome. David, fan since 1980. I think that might be the longest out of everybody, out of everyone that's commented. I think maybe I missed somebody, but oh yeah, I did mention that. Devontae said gives you special membership badges. That's true. You got a helmet next to your name. You got a membership badge. Recognizes it changes colors too. So I made it where it's like the longer you stay as a member, your helmet gets like ages essentially. So it starts with midnight green, and works its way up. But it's just kind of recognition, perhaps. But there will be discounts for merchandise and stuff like that as we get it going. I'm just getting this thing figured out. I mean, it's been 11 months since starting the channel, so we're incredibly new. But yeah, we're figuring this thing out together. So I was literally speechless. I don't know what to say. Well, for sure, yes, JST. Don't forget about the white. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, can't forget about the wife. That's a given. But a good point, good reminder. Um, Super chat here though. 50 Shades of Trey. Appreciate the Tim Bomb says thank you for coming and hanging out with us, or hanging out and chatting with us, man. Absolutely, thank you guys. I mean, my gosh, if you want to do this every chat, but no, I just enjoy it because you guys know it's fun. Try to do as many shows as I can, but it's just a different dynamic whenever we do back and forth. Because in the show, it's like I'll ask a question and move on and try to get to the comments, but it's not as live, obviously. So it makes it better that way. But appreciate it. Rich King, we love you, Josh. I love you too. Y'all know that. Love you guys. Zapper guy, gonna make the Zoom calls insane. Yeah, that's true. Now, granted, it's for hungry dogs and up for the members. So I think that the gifts, I don't know, it didn't share with me what level member. I'm assuming it's just the let's run it. I don't know why you do any higher than that, especially the amount that you just got. But like hungry dogs and up, they get the access to the Zoom calls. So still good, still quite a bit. We have quite a bit from last time. Elmer just joined. Who's the new coach? Yeah, that's Joe Kasper, safety coach, new coach Joe Kasper. Used to be in Philly. I'll throw it up again. I don't think they have a clearer picture than this, but There he is. There's the profile of Mr. Joe Kasper, your new safeties coach, formerly with the Eagles 2 years ago as I think it was the defensive, either quality control or, I should know this. Let me look it up. I kept going back and forth saying it was either, oh, sorry. I'm going to do this screen share. There you go. Yeah, okay, quality control. I thought that, but there you go. So used to be quality control with the Eagles, then went to the Dolphins as the safety coach, and back to Philly with following Miami and Fangio. So he's there. DK McDonald is out as DB coach. So technically, I don't think that he's been filled, but we'll see. Maybe they go with Ronaldo Hill. That would be my pick. Morgan plays games. What do you think about signing C.J. Gardner-Johnson again? I mean, I would love that, but I don't think he wants to come back to Philly. I'm curious. We'll see. Ken Lewis, you going to do any draft profiles this draft? Yeah, well, for sure. We'll, as we get closer, we'll do targets, guys the Eagles are visiting with, names to keep an eye out on, all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, we will for sure have profiles and names. Probably won't be a draft 5 Bijan hype like there was last year for those of you that the OGs that were around back then. But we will have for sure lots of profiles and the guys to keep and follow up on. So more to come on that. Fitness Warrior Josh, that 50 was for you and the family, both families, and the road to 50K. Appreciate that. Means more than you know. Unbelievable. Ken, appreciate the support. Can't put that up there just with the F-bomb, but I appreciate the support. Bro, serious? We got another 5? Oh my gosh. Maxwell, another 5? Dude. Thank you. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. JST said Maxwell making a comeback. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Zach, there you go. Let's see. I think I just talked about it. I'm late on these chat. I think I caught you in time. I think you asked that, but I probably got to it with the new coaches. My gosh, you guys are awesome. Alexander Harris, how do you get a membership? Well, I would say like normally you can get the tiers of Let's Run It, or if you want to hop on the Zoom call once a month, last Friday of every month, you can be the Hungry Dogs tier, or there's a Breed of One, which is super high, and there's really not a whole lot of extra perks for that yet, but there's plans too of merchandise and extra one-on-ones and drawings and stuff like that. But I was going to say like you just hit the join on your computer. Sometimes on the phone is weird, like it'll pop up every once in a while, but I've noticed that sometimes it doesn't, so I've had to be on the computer. But or you just Fitness Warrior and Maxwell are just giving everybody ones tonight. So like you just wait around for that. But oh my gosh, you guys are nuts. Okay, sorry, I missed that super chat here. LA Kid 17, do you think we'll go after Pat Queen? I don't, man. I would love for us to, but I don't see it happening. Cuz he's probably like in the, what would everybody say, 10 to 15 million range. 10's probably too low even. Like 12 to 15 million a year. It'd be great. It would be awesome. I would love to go after Patrick Queen, but with Howie's comment and kind of like doubling down on a Kobe Dean, I don't know. That just feels unlikely. I think hopefully I answered that. That was Joe Kasper, the picture. Very bad, but Mark, could we be in play for Sneed, L'Jarius Sneed? I would love to, but probably not. Again, it's the cost that you're going to spend, what you're doing. Feels unlikely. It would be great. We talked about Sneed earlier, but he's the most penalized in the league. But there's a reason that he's so great. I mean, it's that physicality. So you kind of take the good with the bad, the love-hate at times. I wouldn't mind him, but as much as you're going to spend on him, it seems like it would be a little unlikely. Pete Nathan, hey bro, you Christian? I am. I absolutely am. Philly Cheese, where do you get memberships? I think I answered this. It might have been late getting to this comment too, but yeah, just hit the join button. It's easy on the computer. Again, I've had issues like sometimes it'll pop up on the phone, and sometimes it doesn't, like I said. So, like mine's not popping up here, which is weird. So, sometimes it will. Although, hang on. I think that wait, you are a member though. Yeah, you got one of the memberships, I think. Either that or I'm not understanding your question. So you appear to be a member from what I can see. So anyway. Oh, here we go. I'm awake. Are you? I love that. Every time that one comes up, I think that's a comment, and that's actually just the username, but fly equals fly, I suppose. We are awake, yes. Oh, there you go. Okay. See, Nathan's better at this than I am. On the phone, click the green oval and add GIFs. That's where it is. Okay. I didn't even know that. Okay, I'll touch on this one a little bit. Do you think the A.J. Brown trade rumors are true? No, absolutely not. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but no, they're not true. He's not going anywhere. Joe Castro, who I had on the previous stream, so it's the Exciting Prospects one, kind of breaking down the visits from the Senior Bowl. He actually spoke with a couple Eagles scouts, he said, and they told him that it's absolutely ridiculous. It's totally made up. There's no concerns. They're not trading AJ, which, I mean, I guess you could say, well, wouldn't they say that anyway? But come on, they're not trading him. It was started by, I think, was it WIP? I could be mistaken. I know they had the poll about Jalen and everything else, but there's no way. Not going to trade AJ. He's one of, if not the best player on your team. It makes no sense. In his prime, he's got all the reason to be here. Loves Smitty, their connection. You see the chemistry, not on the Kay Adams show, but outside of when they're forced to be on an interview, you're not getting rid of him. He's fine. What about Jeremy Chin? Yeah, they were linked to him. They were linked to him during the trade deadline. That'd be an interesting name if there's potential that they're still considering. Bro, another one? There's more gifts of memberships are flying off the walls tonight, people. Oh my gosh. You get 5? Let's go. Philly Cheese. With the 5. 5 memberships for people out there. Unreal. Absolutely insane. Appreciate the 5. Those people that got on it. Princess looks like got one. There's Alexander Harris, Mark Anthony. There you go. There's your membership there, Mark and Chris. And I think that's it. Let's go. Yeah, you guys make sure to thank him there. I'm seeing the thanks and the emojis now too. So, what again? 10? I'm totally at a loss. Like usually there's something for me to say. At this point, like I don't even know anymore. There's 10 more. This is insanity. You guys are unbelievable, but 10 more for people. Hey, there you go. If anybody asking, hey, how do I get one? Just gifted 10 more memberships. Let's go. Everybody getting on those. Let's see here. Oh, I missed a super chat. I'm sorry. I got to go back to this one. Where are we at? Here we go. Alexander Harris, the 20 bomb. My gosh. This is, you guys, tonight is insane. From one father to another, put it in the diaper fund. I appreciate that. That means a lot, and that will be exactly where it goes because they are absolutely expensive. But heck yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, man. You guys are the best. I have no words. Literally no words. Let's see. Question here. Fannie Woods, has Sproles spoken to any prospects that seemed favorable? That's a good question. I mean, he's spoken to some. I don't think I've seen any reports of like, extra insight of, hey, we like this one or we didn't like that one. Teams are allowed to, I think they're allowed to, and also do speak with every player at the Senior Bowl. So there's naturally tons of meetings that happen, but then they can request like a follow-up. And there have been several that have had multiple meetings with the Eagles, but I don't know. I don't know what to what extent. I haven't seen any reports. I've gone through, various Twitter channels and articles and things like that. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any that are extra favorable. Tyler Guyton seemed like it was good. I mean, from what he said, the offensive tackle, right tackle from Oklahoma, whose mentor is Lane Johnson. So that's kind of a cool insight there, but he said it went well. Met with him back to back. But yeah, I don't know. We may never know the full ramifications of those meetings, but I think it's cool that Sproles is doing that. And there was a report, Brett Coleman had shared this, that like the prospects, I guess, mentioned either to him or to a source that they were like starstruck whenever they went into the room to Sproles, which that would totally be me. If I walked in there as like Darren Sproles here, I don't even know. I'd probably be the same reaction of like witnessing that someone just gifted 50 memberships. I don't know. I'd be at a loss for words and just like, are you serious right now? But yeah, it's kind of cool whenever you've got prospects like that. Okay, this dude's a legend, and he's the one that's interviewing me. But I guess it's a great example. Like, how do you handle pressure? Like what do you do under the heat of the moment like that? So, it's a benefit in that way. But let's see here. Carlos, appreciate it. Says, thank you for the commitment to the channel with a newborn. Many blessings to your family. Appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Yeah. It's it is work for sure, but it's a blast, and you guys certainly make it worth it. So thank you guys. The support is unreal. My gosh. Ziggy Buffalo. Yes, the Philly cheese name is fitting. Yeah, that's for real with those memberships. This is unbelievable. All right, I saw Nathan's comment. How do you use the emojis? I'm late because I'm flying down trying to get to all these comments. So I'm sorry. I'm way behind. I hope that you figured it out. If you didn't, let's see. You'll see. It depends. If you're on the computer, there's like a smiley face. Like here, let's see. I don't know if I've done it on the phone, but I can share the screen and then try to, well, if it'll zoom in for me. Maybe not. I guess not. It's not going to zoom in, but this is what you do. It's just to add reaction here, and then whenever you click it, then here's the emojis that you can use. Again, that's on the computer. So if you're on the phone, I don't know. Someone else might have to jump in who's used it on the phone. I haven't. I probably should know these things, so I apologize that it's literally like my membership there and doing it. But yeah, that's where it's at. Princess, oh, what's up? Says, I feel so special. No one said my name on a live stream before. This is the best one ever. Awesome. Eagles fans are the best. I appreciate that. Let's run it. Let's go. Yeah, Jay. What's up, Josh? How's it going, Jay? If you saw, they checking out Edrin Cooper. That dude's for real, 6'3". And do you think Fangio will have major influence on which players he wants? Good question. And yes, absolutely. I don't know how you could, as a defensive coordinator coming in, they knew that they wanted him, getting the deal done, that he didn't already say basically to Howie, like, hey, I need some players, I need some things filled. This is the area that I want. So I think he's got to have a ton of say. I like Edrin Cooper. Joe Castro talked about him too, and he said that he's his favorite prospect for that position. So, yeah, I think that at that size, that would be really good. I'm curious if they would draft him, just that high, because again, what Howie likes or doesn't like in investing the funds there. But yeah, not opposed, even though he's an A&M guy. That's yeah. Sorry for A&M fans. I went to Baylor. Jazz Fusion, I apologize. Again, I'm late on these comments here, but hopefully either someone answered it for you, but if they didn't, Joe Kasper used to be in Philly, defensive quality control coach, then went to Miami, followed Fangio, came back. Now he's hired as the safeties coach for the Eagles, as DK McDonald is out as DB coach, and we're figuring out who that's going to be. Who knows? Hopefully Ronaldo Hill. I know I've said that about 10 times on this stream, but again, just for people that are not sure. Russ, what's up? Got the upgraded membership. Hungry Dogs tier. There you go. Got it into the Let's Run It and upgraded to Hungry Dogs. So we'll see you on the Zoom stream. That'll be last Friday of every month, like I said. So for people that are Hungry Dogs tier and up, we have a Zoom stream. Usually like an hour. We may go longer if it's fun and having a good time. But the final Friday of every month, and this month it's the 23rd. So we'll do that. I usually send out the link well beforehand with the Zoom link and password and everything, but then that's a way for us to just, virtual over the camera video conference. So yeah, just an extra added incentive there, but let's go. Hungry Dog tier. Oh, Nathan says Android YouTube app. Does anybody have Android on YouTube and trying to use the emojis that can help out Nathan? I've got an Apple, so I got an iPhone. I don't know. I'm sure it's easy. I haven't seen it yet. Sorry, I know that's not a lot of help. Carlos, the 20 bomb. Man, everybody's on it tonight. I don't know what it is. Appreciate it, dude. I'm a father of 4. No way. No. 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you serious? 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm sitting here thinking it's difficult with 2 at a 2-year-old and a 2 or 3 week old. 4, 3, 2. I appreciate the 20, but bro, man, you are. Here's the always tired club. Yeah, bro, that's I don't know. How do you do it with 4 at that old, man? Staying busy. That is nuts. Shout out to Carlos, bro. Griffin with Let's Run It. Heck yeah. Waco, never been. It's cool. It's cool. It's changed a lot. I'm sure people that know Waco or think of Waco or Chip and Joanna and the silos and all that. It used to be like Baylor was Waco, and now it's kind of changed that way. So there's still a huge pull there, but it's fun. It's worth the visit. Oh, there we go. Hopefully it's helped. John Kempsey said smiley face on chat bar for Android. So for anybody trying to use the emojis with the Android, it's the smiley face on the chat bar. Click on that, and then hopefully that works. Hey, the $2 super chat. Alexander back. Says, any tips to managing time with newborns? First dad? I guess we should ask Carlos, honestly. Carlos is doing it with 4 and ages of 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know. I don't know how you do it with 4, 3, 2, 1. But yeah, I mean, managing time. I don't know. Having our first was, I'm sure that everybody probably can attest to this, everyone with kids, but it's like the first one, you don't even realize the amount of time that you didn't think that you had time. At least this was my personal experience, but it's like, I thought, man, I'm so busy. I have no time to do anything else. And then you have a kid and you're like, wow, I had so much free time and so much time just to do whatever. And then it changes, and then you kind of adjust and you get it figured out eventually. And then now we've had our second, and it feels like we're kind of reverting back to, wow, I really didn't think that I had any time. And now I definitely don't as much. So she already knows this, but shout out to my wife. She is the true MVP for even allowing me to do this in general, but hop on the live stream and hang out with you guys. So she is for sure the MVP. But yeah, managing time with newborns, I don't know. It's the sleep schedule. The time is all over the place. I don't know. It's just you kind of adjust and figure it out as you go on the fly. But eventually, I mean, I guess with most things, eventually you get a groove, you get a routine. Appreciate the 2 though. Man, slick, the 20 bomb. Let's run it. There you go. Let's run it. I used to do that all the time, but I just started throwing the video up in front. I don't know if that got old. Let's run it, though. 20. Chris, come on, bro. Member at the breed of one. I think that's literally only my second breed of one. So I appreciate it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not going to try to oversell or anything. There's perks for the let's run it. There's perks for the hungry dogs. And there certainly will be perks for the breed of one, but I'm not really fully there yet. So, I mean, kudos to you. Shout out, bro. Like, that's awesome. You'll definitely be on the Zoom call because it's hungry dogs and up, but eventually going to have some merchandise and there will be extra. It does get you like more entries for the giveaway. So I should say that it's not like there's no benefit, but appreciate the support. I know you've been here for like the very beginning. But yes, there'll be more entries for the giveaways for jerseys that we do, other swag and memorabilia. And it'll probably be more, honestly, it'll probably be more like jerseys and just cool memorabilia that we give away because it used to be tickets during the regular season. And, well, we can't do that anymore. I couldn't even give away a playoff game. I was going to try to do that. I was like, oh, cool. If we win, and then the way it was shaping up was like, hey, we might host a playoff game. And I was like, sweet, we'll do a divisional round. And that obviously didn't happen. So, but let's go. Breed of one. Cranky Cletus. I hear Waco. I think of Feds, not Chipadet. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, there's a couple other things, I guess, of Waco. I know that, but some people have said the Branch Davidians. It's another area. Yeah, that's true. There's other things. I get that. Yep. Ridge King, Josh's wife, MB, without a doubt. That is, if I could heart, and I might just keep that up there the rest of the show. She for sure is. And she knows it. Absolutely. We'll throw some more comments, but yeah, I'm about to hop off here. I do need to because my wife is the MVP, but I need to help. This offense is going to be fun to watch, just like 22 with a real OC, no doubt. I'm super confident in Kellen Moore. You guys know this. Yeah, it's unreal. The difference that we're going to see. I think just changing up things with I mean, it's easier to be better because it was so bad. But yeah, changing up things, making life easier, not only on Jalen, but the running game. I think the running game will even be better. There's so many things to like, but I think that we'll get this thing figured out. I don't know. Maybe I'm too optimistic. You guys know that I'm really optimistic anyway, and I'm also really at kind of a loss because of all the memberships and super chats and everything. Like, you guys are awesome, but I'm already optimistic. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be so much better. So I just can't wait. Unfortunately, we got to wait many months and watch the Super Bowl or not watch the Super Bowl if you're not going to. We'll get there. We'll get there though. Yeah, Princess. Whoa, someone just joined Breed of One. Chris the OG. I remember Chris was back whenever. I mean, Chris has been subscribed for forever. So shout out to Chris for the Breed of One. But appreciate it, man. That is no joke. I think it's the second one. Like I say, second Breed of One. Didn't expect that either. But Fitness Warrior, appreciate it, dude. Okay, everybody, shout out again to Fitness Warrior. Have a good night, Josh. Stay safe, stay blessed. You too, bro. It's incredible blessing. You have a great night, great weekend. Many blessings. I like the changes so far. I do too. All right, I'm going to throw this one back up there. Okay. Last couple of questions here. I'm going to just touch on a few, and then I'm getting off. I really do need to, and you guys have been the best, unbelievable hangout. Blows my mind, but got to go help. Last one here. Maybe last couple. Team Birds, how's the baby going? Good. I do need to probably go help here in 1 second. Zachary Barter, who's your number one free agent? You would want the Eagles to sign if it was your decision. If money is no issue, cost is no issue, I could just do whatever. Probably Jalen Johnson. Get a corner. Probably not realistic, but if we're just going off of whoever I want, that's a lot of teams. I know Jalen Johnson, but yeah, that's where we're at. And there we go. LA Kid. Got to make it up to Mrs. Philly Special this Valentine's Day. Yes, absolutely. The real MVP. Hashtag the real MVP. She for sure. And I'm going to go help out Mrs. Philly Special. So this has been a blast. You guys are awesome again. You know that. Everyone have a fantastic rest of the Friday night. Have a great weekend. We're going to have a lot more live streams again. You guys know I can't do as many shows. I'm trying to crank out a lot, but just with the schedule and all that with the baby. So probably more of these live hangouts. And if you want to keep doing memberships like that, that's great. But seriously, just enjoy hanging out, having a good time. Y'all are the best. But as always, you guys know, go Birds.